So in the Rizzo family, we have Marco as myself and Sophia as myself as well. Katie is the therapist. Lourdes will be playing Antonio and Anna, and also Sophia at times.
So I want to welcome you both here, Marco and Antonio. I appreciate you both coming in today. Sorry. Marco, can you tell me a little bit about why you had your family come in today with you?
Yeah, I just haven't been doing well in school, so I decided to drop out this semester, and yeah, I'm feeling a lot of stress, and I felt like it would be a good idea to bring them with me because they're putting stress on me.
Okay. So Antonio, I am glad to see that you came in with your family today. Can you explain to me in your own words why you think that you're here today?
Listen, it's simple. I worked hard for my family. I put up a business, and it's just the right thing to do that Marco kind of just continues that tradition and continues working for the pizzeria so we don't have to close it down. I mean, he knows the ropes, he's worked there, he knows what he has to do. I'm not sure why he's depressed.
Okay. Okay, well, I appreciate you explaining that and letting us know how you're thinking at this time. Sophia, can you please let us know what your understanding is and why you decided to come in today?
Well, I'm here to support Marco because I think it's wrong what my father's doing. He tried to do it to me. This is why I left and I went to college, but you didn't hear him say anything about me leaving. So why should he care if Marco is in college or not? He wants to do business degree. He needs to be able to just say no to his dad. That's it, like I did. I didn't want to come, but Marco asked me to come.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming in for your brother and for your family. Marco, can you please explain how you're feeling emotionally? So when you think of your family situation, as you've explained to me in the past, how are you feeling? Can you explain that?
Maybe. I mean, I feel stressed, and so it just makes me feel really sad because I am like disappointing my dad. And it also just makes me sad that this whole thing is making my family fight with each other.
Okay. So, Antonio, when you hear your son saying that, how does that make you feel?
I don't understand his thinking. I don't understand why. I just don't get it.
Okay. So, Antonio, you talked very passionately about your family business. Can you express to your family what that means to you and your feelings related to it, just for you, not for them, but just for you?
I worked hard for this family. You know, it was hard for me to come into this country. I was only 14 years old. You know, we built our business from the ground up. And it's my brother's 3 sons continuing the business. My only son can't do that for our business. It's our legend. And he's breaking that.
So I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to have you backtrack to how you feel. How does that make you feel?
I'm angry.
Okay.
I'm angry that I may have to close the business. I'm angry that my son doesn't want to follow my footsteps.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is that you created a passion and evolved your family business. So I want you to listen to your son and see if you pick up on any of that passion with his interest in college, and try to listen to hear what he says and let me know and let him know. Do you hear any of that from him? Are you willing to do that?
Listen, you guys got me here. I'm willing to try.
Thank you, Antonio. Marco, can you please express to your parents what your thoughts are on college, why this is so important to you?
Yeah, I just think it's really good for me to get a higher education. I thought that they would understand that most of my friends are getting a higher education, that's really valued in this country, and I thought that they would be happy. And I really do enjoy my classes. I really do enjoy learning, and I want to learn more. And I don't know exactly what I want to do, but you know, maybe it could help out the pizzeria with a degree. Maybe we could make it better if I had a higher degree. I just think it's really important for me right now to explore options and to really just do something better for my life.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for expressing that. Marco, I know one thing that you have spoken to me about is your anxiety. Do you feel comfortable talking to your parents about what you've been experiencing lately?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard. Yeah, it's just hard when I feel like I express myself, and everyone has a different opinion and everyone takes sides, and um, yeah, and my sister's not around, so it makes it harder for me to have someone that's my own age to talk to, and it's hard that my mom she'll talk to me, but then my dad will tell her something different or yell at her, and then she doesn't support me anymore. So it's all of those things like combined into one that just really make me feel anxious.
Okay. So it sounds like it helps reduce your anxiety if you were to have more support and to have more of a conversation than to feel as if you're being yelled at.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Anna, when you hear your son say this, have you thought of ways that you can help support him?
I mean, I've tried um, trying to talk to Antonio, but he doesn't listen to me. I don't think that my opinion is validated here, and I want my son to pursue his dreams, and I want him to go to college like he wants to. I want him to be happy. I think that's a mom's dream for their kids to be happy with what they do.
Right. So, one thing that you could do is to help him express how he is feeling. One of those things that you could do is by asking him and telling him how you're feeling. For example, you could ask him, Marco, I understand that you're overwhelmed, and ask him, would you like to sit down and talk with me? And for you, Antonio, one thing you could do instead of raising your voice is to have the same conversation. Express how you're feeling. For example, Marco, I am angry. I am frustrated and worried about the business. But then you have to let him respond and express his own feelings using those I statements. If we slow things down and we listen to how one another feels by their I statements, that can help the conversation flow so that the anxiety lessens and that you're hearing one another. Is that something, Antonio, that you're willing to do with your son?
I mean, I can try it, although it boils my blood and I just get so angry every time we bring up the topic. But I can try.
I understand that. And feeling that anger, feeling that.
Hey, Katie, you're muting. Like, I think you're just glitching.
Am I frozen?
Oh, there we go. Okay, I could hear you then.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Continue.
Okay. So Antonio, if you were to practice this with your son, with your wife and your daughter, this might help you lessen your own anxieties and your own anger to help you feel better yourself and to get your family on the right track. So what I would like to do, if you feel comfortable, is I would like to have you practice some of those I statements so that you can feel comfortable here in those conversations to then carry them through when you're at home.
Can you give me an example?
Yes, I can. So, Antonio, your son has come to you and he's trying to express his interest in attending college and why that's important to him. So one thing you could tell him is, Marco, I'm worried about the business. That is why I want you to come and work for me. In return, you have to actively listen to your son and how he is feeling. One way that you can do that is by listening to him and taking into account his thoughts and his feelings, and he'll do the same for you. Part of this is understanding that you may not get what you wish out of this, but this will help you better understand your son and how to better support your family overall. Do you have any questions?
My family is very important to me, and I'm willing to try it if it's going to help us. It breaks my heart not being able to speak to my son.
Okay. So why don't we try a couple of those? Antonio, I will have you use an I statement, so express how you are feeling to your son. And then Marco, I will have you reply to him with your own I statement and try to take into account how each other is feeling, what each other is truly saying, and try to keep an eye on your emotions while you're listening. Okay. So Antonio, you can start when you're ready.
Marco, the reason why I get so angry, it's because I'm worried to losing our legend. I'm worried to losing our business. It has been in our family for a long, long time, and it's a symbol of the sacrifices we had to make in order to be successful. And I wanted you to carry on that legend.
Dad, I understand that you want me to carry on the business. I want to further my education so that I can do better for our family and for my future family. Yeah.
Good job. You both did a great job at expressing that. So one thing you can do is utilize this at home, whether you're on the phone or if you're at home together. This is a way that you can slow things down and truly hear one another. So I want to try this one more time. But first, Sophia, I would like you to try this with Dad. I know that the two of you have had conflict. Sophia, I would like you to express to your dad, Antonio, some of your feelings related to your decisions on college and what your thoughts are on that related to your brother. And Antonio, if you're willing, please do the same for her while she expresses her thoughts so that you can start to better understand her.
Okay, so I'm going first, right?
Yes.
Okay. Dad, I chose to go to college so that I could make a better life for myself. I am really enjoying college, and I hope that it inspires my little brother to do the same.
And how do you feel with that? How could you use an I statement to express your feelings to your dad?
Yeah, I feel frustrated that you are angry at Marco for doing what he thinks is best for him.
Okay. Or Sophia, have you had any worries or frustrations related to not being involved in the family business?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Sophia, did you have any frustrations or worries that you were not asked to be incorporated in the family business?
Yeah, I feel frustrated and angry, and just like I'm not considered for doing the job of helping to carry on our family business.
Okay. Antonio, after hearing your daughter express that, how does that make you feel?
I'm surprised. I didn't know that she was, I mean, it's not how we do things in our family. Girls, you know, they don't really work in the business. I didn't know she even wanted that. I didn't know.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate you listening to one another and taking the time to express your feelings. Um, so going forward, Sophia, how would you like things to go forward for you, as well as for your family? Any family members in particular? How would you like to see things go?
Well, I want Marco to feel like he can make his own decisions. I've always been there for him. You know, him and dad will always fight, and he calls me and I tell him all the time that he needs to do things for himself and just get out and just go to college, just like he wants to. He needs to stand up to dad. And honestly, I would like to be able to be part of the decisions made in the family and not excluded all the time.
Okay. So Sophia, it sounds like you're willing to be an additional support for your brother so that he can talk to you as you have the understanding and experience that he is now going through. Marco, do you feel comfortable talking to your sister and reaching out when you need that added support?
Yeah, I would love to. I just didn't know that she like wanted to be a support for me. I just thought she moved away and didn't want to be with the family.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like everyone is starting to understand each other's feelings, and more so based on their reactions, how they feel behind those reactions. So going forward, I would encourage you all to continue these conversations, to continue expressing your emotions using those I statements, and to talk when you're calm. I would like to continue seeing you so that we can continue working on this and to help support your family. You have a wonderful family. And Antonio, I hope that you will continue listening to your family and using the I statements. Is there anything before we go today that I can help you all with?
No, I'm excited to keep looking forward even though it scares me a little bit, but I think I feel good about everything from today.
Good, good. And it's okay to feel scared. And we'll work on ways that you can continue expressing that, so that you can continue lessening your anxiety and to help your family understand ways to support you and for you to continue building your coping skills and where to go for your futures. Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for coming in today, and we will set up another meeting for next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Part 2 of Family Session Therapy, I'll be playing Dad. Octavia's Marco, and Katie is the therapist.
So I'm glad to see both of you today, Marco and Antonio. I wanted to check in to see how both of you are feeling today.
Who's going first? Me?
Sure. Marco, can you talk about how you're feeling?
I still feel irritable. I still feel unheard. And I still feel unhappy.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. Antonio, how are you feeling today?
Well, it just doesn't make sense. I feel like since our last meeting, we've talked about things. I don't know why Marco's still so frustrated with everything. I guess when he feels frustrated, it frustrates me. So maybe that's how I feel today.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate you both sharing that with one another. So Marco, last time we worked on using I statements where you say, I feel this way for this reason.
Mm-hmm.
Can you express to your dad using an I statement why you're feeling some of these ways, why you're feeling the frustration and not heard?
I feel frustrated because I understand you wanting me to take over the family business, but I become frustrated when that is more important than what I would want for myself. And I feel that I'm unheard because, I dropped out of school to make you happy. But when I say, I want to be in school, I'm good at school, I enjoy school, it doesn't mean anything.
So it sounds like you're feeling a lot of pressure and that's causing your anxiety to rise.
Yes, I don't know how my father will take things if I decide that I'm just going to stay in school. Or I don't think that he will care that I'm miserable.
Okay. So what do you wish you would hear from your father? What would help you with your anxieties?
I would be happy if we can come to a understanding or even ground. Like I was, spending my time before where I would work at the pizzeria sometimes and go to school, but that became a little bit overwhelming in itself. So maybe coming to an understanding where I can still please him but please myself as well.
Okay. So Antonio, it sounds like your son is looking to find balance within your family and within himself. Can you use an I statement and express to him what your thoughts are related to that?
Yeah, I feel sad that my son thinks that he's not allowed to be happy or something, that he's not allowed to do school necessarily. I still think that he needs to look to the bigger picture, but I feel sad because he doesn't feel heard enough, or that he feels that it makes him frustrated that I don't listen.
Okay. Yes, Marco, what would you like to add?
He said that I don't see the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture?
So,
It's
Marco, what is your bigger picture for yourself first? I want you to think about what you would like to see for yourself.
I want to be educated.
Okay.
I think that it's amazing to run a business, but I feel that I shouldn't be obligated to run a business before becoming educated.
Can you express what school means to you? What it means more than just an education?
It means education. It means being exposed to different things that I may have not have seen before or heard before, meeting new people. It's a different experience that I enjoyed, and I'm missing now that I'm not having it.
Okay. So it sounds like, Antonio, I know you've mentioned that your passion of creating your business, to me, that sounds a lot like your son's passion with going to college. Is that something that you would agree with?
Yeah, I see value. I see value in that, and I also think that he can learn from his community and learn from his family.
Okay. So one thing I would like you both to work on at home together is sitting down and having calm conversations and using those I statements to focus on your own feelings and listening, and to only do this when you are calm. Is this something that you're both willing to work on until next session?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you both coming in today.
Thank you.
For our group project, we are focusing on the Bowen theory, also known as the multi-generational approach. This approach directly looks at your past relationships in your family, the impact of those in your family of origin, and how that is currently affecting your family relationships. During our family therapy session, the issues that came up were in between Marco and Antonio, father and son, and just the individual's autonomy. They have a really hard time forming clear boundaries, and they often get in a fight about the difference in thought between Marco's going to college and him staying at the pizza shop and working there. These arguments usually go around in a circular manner. There's some agreement within the conversation. The content of the discussion doesn't allow for the root issue to come to surface in our session. Sophia briefly discussed gender roles and that she would also like to be a part of the decision making in the pizza restaurant. In the family therapy session, both Antonio and Marco are showing signs of a lowly differentiated self. They're both pretty reactive to each other. They're unable to listen to each other's wants and needs. Antonio is showing a very authoritative and strong-willed manner and is unable to see how completing a degree means autonomy for Marco, and he starts to impose his ideas onto his son, which is working strictly at the pizza shop. And Marco is showing high levels of anxiety. He even stated that he was feeling anxious He's dropped out of college to satisfy his father and just feels unable to obtain autonomy. The therapist in the session is able to create a space where Antonio and Marco can both talk to each other, hear each other's feelings out, and she encouraged them both to use Bowen's I statements, so as the other person can hear how that other person is feeling and be able to acknowledge those feelings. A lot of these treatment goals are focused on decreasing anxiety and increasing differentiation of self between Marco and Antonio. So the therapist has suggested that Marco and Antonio both use I statements to engage with each other, and that all family members will listen to each other without being defensive. Marco is to identify triggers and coping skills, and Antonio is to identify 3 to 5 positive communication skills. While also tackling gender bias, Sophia is going to express her thoughts using I statements as well and engage with her family members about her ideas around the pizzeria. During the family session, you will notice that the therapist is staying connected to each family member, but also stays neutral in the sessions by not engaging, affirming or denying Marco's I statements or Antonio's I statements. Marco and Antonio are both challenged to use I statements to decrease the blaming and the shaming that comes with him communicating his feelings to his father. Antonio was encouraged to use I statements and role play activities to increase positive communication with his son. And Marco was encouraged to practice deep breathing techniques and other calming techniques to help him reduce his anxiety. Now, because this family is an immigrant family, it was important for the therapist to take a look at the present and the past focus of the family. Anna, in particular, as the mother, is undermined by the family's hierarchy and patriarchy. She wishes to advocate for her son, but her husband, Antonio, does not take in any of her input. Sophia, the daughter, most likely sees this patriarchy and exhibits some signs of resentment for not being included, and she states that maybe she could help out, even though a woman may not be the person that would traditionally take over for the restaurant. She feels that she should be included. She also shows some emotional cutoff from her father, and when pulled into triangulation, she can't manage to maintain a differentiated stance. She's unable to maintain a positive relationship with her dad, and the family really needs to address the cycle of fusion that they're in order to resolve the stressors and anxiety that both Marco and Sophia face, and this will help the family move into a more present-focused relationship and hopefully be able to resolve the issue of who will take over for the restaurant. The therapeutic interventions that were taken during the session, one were I statements that all of the family members were encouraged to use in a calm way to express their feelings, and so that each member of the family would be able to hear them. And this is also utilized to avoid triangulation and to open up communication and understanding within the family. The therapist also uses process questions just to help Marco express his anxiety and his future wishes for schooling and his career and what his ideas are for that. Antonio was able to identify exactly what he wanted within the family business. And he was also able to start understanding why his child is feeling anxious and how decisions could be shared as opposed to just one person. As the therapist continues to see the Rizzo family, there are several interventions that she could take to address the family's needs and issues. One would be to use trace patterns to show the emotional reactivity and triangulations within the family so that they are able to see those and work on them.
She can continue to use process questions, and this will help the family to see how their thoughts and their feelings are relating to their reactions, such as anger and anxiety. The family could also benefit from using a genogram. Each family member could make their own, and then the therapist could compare and then share with the family what each individual person is seeing within the family. The therapist should continue to promote self-care for Marco in particular so that he can help reduce his anxiety, and she can also help promote the improving of Antonio's emotional reactivity to all of the family members, and this will help with their connection and understanding of each other.